Great. So we're going to be talking about business development as a general, in general, and how you as a VA can look out for opportunities to do with business development, how to be better with grants and proposal writing, right? That's what we're going to talk about, especially in line with the application um, that we're trying to prepare for and how you can position yourself for that opportunity. Okay, so quickly, let's talk about business development. Business development has to do with every effort that is made towards improving revenue, improving capacity, improving reach, and generally improving the overall health of that business, right? So there's so many different ways that a business development manager helps the business, right? Overall, the business development is the one pushing growth for the business, trying to look out for opportunities, trying to make sure things are in check, flowing in a way that brings the maximum possible amount of growth in terms of all the metrics that I mentioned, revenue, capacity, reach, and overall health of that business. Okay. Now, the context that we're speaking to has to do with grants and proposal writing. So you have to understand what grants and proposal writing is to start with. There's a small difference between grants and proposals. Proposals are, you are shooting for a position or a job role, or the rendition of a service or delivery of products based on a job opportunity put out either by the government or by development bodies, okay, or other organizations looking for that service outside of themselves. But for proposals, it's more like funding. You're looking for funding opportunities. That means I don't know if some of you are familiar. You hear they are sponsoring probably children or some things. Okay, the most popular one you get to hear, oh, we're doing a women's if you're a women-owned business, right? You have a grant, you can win these grants. If you have, if you're a woman and you're running a business, maybe in agricultural sector, let me know if you've heard anything like that before. Have you heard anything like that before? Where they say, okay, they are trying to fund women in business. They will say there's probably 50 billion in grants that will be split across 100 people. Let me know if that's familiar.
Yes, man, that's familiar, man.
Yes, that's one typical example of grants. What are they doing? Most of these, when you look at it on a high level scale, these organizations are placed to support developing businesses, right? A business that needs help but has a good vision. So they want you to display what your vision is, what your plans are, and how that money will help you. Ideally, they are trying to help, but there's more than one way that they can help. It's not always just giving of money. Of course, money will always be involved, but sometimes it may be a community project. Maybe they want to install a well in a particular project and they need professionals to manage it, right? Whoever the professional they are going to hire to be able to deploy that well is going to be paid for that service, right? And that person is also part of that project. So the person will show the capacity to be able to run that project and they are paid for it. In some cases, they don't even require you to do any project at all. They just want you to put the money in your business and probably they will supervise. So they may give you maybe 1 year period to show the difference that money made or 2 years period. Now, a lot of businesses are set up in such a way that they want to grow and they are looking out for free money in the form of grants or opportunity to do some work and get paid. So that is the role of a business development manager, looking out for these opportunities, grants and proposals. But to do it is not just you joining a queue. It's not just you saying, okay, this business wants this grant. Auntie, I look at my hand up, oh yeah, give me. No, the process is that you are going to write a grant, you're going to write a proposal to position for that particular opportunity. So you have to start thinking, how are these opportunities, how do they work? So let's talk about the process flow, right? Um, I hope I can still annotate here. Let me see. There's a way I can draw on this. No, not attaching. Let me just open my paint and then use that to draw some things out. Let's sketch so we can go through the process process life cycle, right? So let's say process one, process two, process three, process four. Let me break it down to four major processes, right? So the first process is the search for these opportunities, right? You want to search for opportunities, e.g., tenders, bids, proposals, etc. Let me make this a little smaller so it will fit. I want us to make the most of our time today. So breeze through a lot. So step one is what? You search for opportunities. So that means you have to know where to look. Where do you find opportunities? How do you find opportunities? And what do you do next? So once you find opportunities, so let's break this down further. How do you know what to search for if you don't know what the scope of the business is? So the first most important thing is you need to understand the scope. So understand the scope of the business, understand all the services slash product offerings that the business offers, right? Understand the capacity to which the business can perform. Okay, so these are major things you want to have at the back of your head, right? Before you go ahead, you have to know what the business is offering. So, say for instance, you find yourself in a business that offers training. What does that mean? What kind of training do they offer? What kind of people will take those training? How long do they offer? All the things that they do, you have to understand. So you are when you are looking for opportunities for them, you know you are looking for opportunities to do with training. You are looking for opportunities to do with capacity development according to the things that they offer. If you find yourself in a business offering travel support or travel guidance, what does that mean? You have to understand what aspect of travel they offer. Is it that they help clients to book flights so they can help businesses to manage their flights, probably for a project, or a business has vacation and they want to be the ones to outsource. They want those that business was outsourced to another business to help them handle their travel planning. So such a business, what aspect do they do? Would they help with airport pick up and drop off? Would they help with ticket preparation? What are the things they are offering and what capacity does that business have? Okay, you have to understand the scope of the business. You have to, please, if at any point you don't understand anything, just raise your hand because I want to make it as simple, as clear as possible so we can tie it to what we need to do for this project. I don't want any confusion. Are we together?
Yes, ma'am. We are together, ma'am.
Okay, but it's clear so far.
It's clear so far.
Good. So that is step one. You're searching for opportunities, right? So once you found the opportunities that match the scope, that match the capacity or services that they are offering, then the next thing you want to do is gather the requirements. So you want to extract the requirements. You want to gather slash extract requirements from the document presented. So these people will present documents like RFP, that is request for proposal, right? They'll present documents like EOI, expression of interest. So these are some of the terms that you now begin to be familiar with. And you will find that when you're interviewing for roles like this, they will require you to know some of these things. They will require you to be able to point out and say, it will come up in conversation. So you can't fake it. By the time they're asking you on the interview, these are some of the things they expect you to be conversant with. Oh, okay, when I get an RFP or a request for proposal or a bid document, or I get an EOI, these are some of the things they want you to be conversant with because these are part of the things you do on a daily basis, if not, especially if it's an active business, right? So the next step is what? You extract and gather information. So that's where you get to prepare a checklist, right? People have their different strategies, correct? Some businesses will just eyeball it, or maybe what are you going to do? You want to create a checklist. Why? You want to be able to track every last requirement, specified in the bid documents. I'm going to just use the blanket term bid documents, but it can be RFP, it can be EOI. We'll look at samples today, okay? So you want to create a checklist, then you want to do, okay, maybe that's the next step. Create a checklist. What are you doing also at this point? You want to communicate with the team. This is also the point where you are seeking approval to commence proposal writing. Okay, this is usually what will happen at this stage. So you have like a tracker. And then as you have the tracker, you are putting down the opportunities you found in your search. So of course, most of these decisions, you're not going to just make it on your own. There'll be either somebody in management. You know the term C-level management, right? Everybody familiar with C-level management. Those are the top. Those are the CEOs, the CTO, the COO, right? Those people are the ones, the top management of that business. There'll usually be somebody that will approve what opportunities you are going for. Of course, your job is to, first of all, search for the opportunities and document them, right? You gather your requirements from those opportunities. So it's from the requirements, they'll now be able to know, you know what, let's leave this one. We don't really have this. We don't really have that. It will be too tedious. Oh, we may partner with another company. This is where all the thinking is happening. This stage two. This is where all the confirmation of should we go with this or not will take place. So that's step two, correct? Now, the next thing is after it is approved and you know, okay, I can go ahead. Can you people see clearly this screen? Should I zoom better? Let me make it a little bigger. Let me make it a little bigger. Not too big. Okay, I think this is fine. What do you think? Let's go back. Okay, maybe we like this. What do you think? Is it too big? Okay, so step three now, after you search for opportunities, you gather and extract the requirements from the documents presented. What do you want to do? You begin writing your proposal, but you begin to structure and do research for your proposal. So let us go to the next step. We begin developing your proposal, structuring out your proposal. Proposal build up. So this is where you then begin to build it. You build it up like you're building, like you're assembling a ship or you're assembling something, right? So there'll be introduction, there'll be the cover letter, there'll be the cover page, there'll be table of contents, there'll be the structure, the ordering according to what is required. So we'll look at a typical sample today. Proposal build up, this is the stage. Let me put in brackets. Alignment with requirements and checklists. Please bear in mind, when we're talking about a lot of things that are foreign, right? That is not something you deal with on a daily basis. It may first look like it's difficult, but don't put anything at the back of your mind that will hinder your learning. Do you get? Because it is not difficult. It will look difficult because it's all, what's the RFP again? What's EOI? Just calm down. You'll see by the time it's broken down better that it's not difficult at all. And this is a very high paying role because it's a specialized role. Not everybody has the patience to talk through things like this. And not many people are teaching it. But guess what? If you have this skill, it's one of the skills I'll say you never get broke because there's always companies needing somebody that is professional in terms of proposal or grant writing. There's tons of organizations who need this. We'll talk about the type of organizations as well that need it. Good. So step three is you have the proposal build up. What do we do in this step? 1 minute. So let's go on. So we have under proposal build up. This is the stage where we gathering of resources, to match the requirements. Creation. This is the stage where we design. Okay, creation and design of proposal documents. Okay. This is also the stage where we review the work. Review of work. Review of okay. Okay, this is the stage also where we do research, deep research. Deep research. Deep research should come first. Then, of course, then we review and edit. So we have 10 minutes till this session is over. We'll have a new session to add. Review and edit of proposal. Then the final step is then submission. Proposal submission. No, I don't like all this. So proposal submission and follow up. So as a business development manager, this is your complete purview. This is everything you are doing every time you check into work. You are either searching for new opportunities, monitoring the opportunities you've gathered, preparing the documents to go with it, doing research on what to present, getting approval on whether to move to the next stage, submitting the proposal according to the laid out requirements, following up on opportunities that you have submitted to make sure that you're not being swept aside. That is the long and short of your job, of your role as a grant writer. That's the long and short of it. Now, at this point, you are checking to make sure the proposal matches the requirements. Then following up with opportunities till outcome is determined. So what's the outcome? Outcome could be bid won or lost. So you either win it or you lose it, right? But don't take it to heart. Just the same way you do a lot of applications as an individual submitting your CV, right? Some of it you win, correct? Some of it you lose. But it's a game of numbers. It's a game of numbers. So I'm going to send this as a screenshot to you guys. Pardon how skeletal it looks. So game of numbers, really. I'm going to save this, and it's going to be part of the thing we'll share with you. Proposal life cycle. Good. So these are, everybody understands this life cycle, right? The process flow and life cycle. That part is clear. Please unmute so I can hear you.
Man, not
Is that
really.
clear?
Because I lost connection. I lost connection at some point, but I think
Okay.
yes, but I'm going to go back and
Yes.
watch the video again.
Yes. Since we are going back, well, let me just use 30 seconds to go over it again. These are the steps that would form your role as a business development manager in terms of proposal writing and grant writing. Step one is that you search for opportunities, understand to really do this, you have to know what the business is offering because you're representing the business. Whatever the size of the business, you as a business development manager or grant writer, proposal writer. You are representing the business, trying to put their best foot forward, matching with opportunities, right? So you want to search for these opportunities. You search on tenders, there's magazines, tender magazines, there's sites where you search, and when you find the opportunities, you gather the requirements. That's step two. You create a checklist. Then when you're done, according to that checklist, you get approval if you should proceed with that opportunity. And once you have the approval, you begin to build your proposal. You begin to do deep research according to what is required. Because sometimes they want to solve a problem. They want to know who can solve that problem. And so you want to package yourself based on research and your own capacity as a business to say, you know what, this is what you need, but this is how we're going to solve it. This is what we're proposing. This is what innovation we are putting up. Okay? And so when you put that together into a document, you get to submit it, which is the final step. You submit and then you follow up on your submission to make sure you get an outcome sooner than later. What could be the outcome? You may either win it or you lose it. So these are ideally the first steps that you go through, that you will be going through in your role as a business development manager. So understanding that will really help. Now, what's next? What are tenders? They come in the shape of EOI, RFPs, and grants, etc. I've already put etc. Okay. So let's quickly look at some grants. We have 4 minutes before this session is over. I'm going to send you, or you just wait some 10 minutes, then we'll join this same link to start again. Because it's being recorded, of course, it will take some time to buffer. That's why we're waiting, 5 to 10 minutes before we start the next, okay? So let's quickly look at some documents before this 4 minutes elapses. Let's look here. Okay, so this is a complicated one, but it's better we start with the complicated one so that there's no element of surprise anywhere. This was a proposal. By the way, this proposal was done and won. I wrote this proposal. You'd be shocked how much the contract bid was for. It was to the tune of about 5 billion for the business. And we won it. This is how the proposal won, right? So what it takes, this is a bid document, like I was showing you in the process flow. Now, this NASAL now, I'm sure some of you are familiar with NASAL. You've heard the name before, correct? The Nigerian Incentive-Based Risk Sharing System for Agricultural Lending. Anybody familiar? Okay, I'll take
I'm not familiar with that.
I'm familiar.
Okay, good. So they put out this tender. They needed this service for their business. We're going to read it together. Now, one of the things that puts people off in this job is the fact that you are going to be needing to do a lot of reading. They say if you want to hide information from an African man, you put it in a book, right? Because they won't read it. You have to remove yourself from that kind of mindset, because the more you skip, the more you lose in terms of requirement gathering. You see more and more why it's a specialized role and not everybody can do it, and why it is handsomely rewarded, right? So quickly, let's look at the major blocks of this terms of reference. So there's a proposal they have set out. I was working with a travel agency when I did this, so I'm not going to disclose the name of the travel agency. Hopefully, I'm going to be able to cover their names properly. But they solicited for this, right? Do you see the introduction? The Nigerian Incentive-Based Risk Sharing Agriculture, NASAL, is a wholly owned corporation of the Central Bank of Nigeria, incorporated under the Companies and Allied Matters Act, with the key mandate of de-risking agriculture and facilitating agribusiness. Overview of the assignment. So this is where you pay keen attention. This is what they want you to do for them. NASAL desires the service of a travel management vendor. So the business that I'm representing is a travel management vendor to provide air travel support services. It could be anything. It could be to provide building of bridges, solar installation. It could be absolutely anything. Absolutely anything. As a business, if you are in tune with proposals, you will know that there's more opportunities than just you running your business solo. There's so many people out there looking for that service that you can offer and get paid for it. Back to this. So they are looking for travel management vendors to provide what? Travel information, to prepare various types of travel itineraries. We were looking at the scope of the service as written by, overview of the assignment as written by NASAL for this particular bid document. So they said they need somebody to provide travel information, somebody to prepare various types of travel itineraries. What are travel itineraries? That's the breakdown of when your flight is versus when your drop-off is, your movement around, means of transportation, travel advice, maintain constant contact with the providers of travel and hospitality services, such as air transport providers, hotel managers. That means they need these people as a travel organization to help them book their flights, help them move their people from one point to the other, help them book hotels for their people, for their staff, help them make sure that provision for whatever they need is provided, land transport, movement, airport shuttle from point to point, right? Planning and costing of tours. So let's say they want to have a tour for their team. They want to be able to know that okay, there's a costing for their team, inclusive of programs to meet individual requirements. This call for a high-level initiative, innovation, and drive. Knowledge of locations, right? Essential. Then cooperation of, I'm breathing through this for a purpose, right? Because this is travel context already. You don't want to start labeling A for B, just for you to see how it is broken down, how a typical proposal, a bid document would look, right? And of course, because it can come in different shapes and sizes. So people will put theirs in tables. Like ECOWAS comes in about 85 pages of bid documents, and you're supposed to read through to get every last requirement out of those documents. So imagine, will you know that that's the kind of work you need to do and charge 200K for that service? No. If someone is asking you to write a proposal of the magnitude of such kind of organization, the least you should be charging is 400, 500K to be able, because you are doing a lot of work. Good, back to this. So cooperation of airlines and other transportation are valid. The consultant should have a functional, computerized reservation system. Are you taking notes? So you that want to deliver all this, you have to have a way of tracking these requirements. You have to have a way of knowing what was asked for. Provision of information on foreign currency to intending travelers, and advice on monetary cash declaration per entry to certain countries, right? So you want to give them information so that they know, okay, if they're entering this country, or what are the things they need to declare? What are the things they need to do? They need to have some currencies at hand? Do they need to change or convert their money before going? Is there a place there that they will convert? So as a travel agency trying to render this service, these are some of the things you should be able to provide in your proposal, right? Provision of necessary travel insurance for personnel accident risk and risk for loss of baggage. Provision of curated travel packages, including air and ground transportation, accommodation, and other ancillary services, right? So this is like the general. What we just went over is the general scope. Then look now, there's now a detailed breakdown here. This detailed breakdown keeps going. It keeps going up until you are seeing there's up to page 9. Then qualification of the successful travel agent. What qualification must this person need? The successful travel agency who will be contracted to serve serve the needs shall have the following minimum qualification. Must have legal registration. What does this tell you? You have to be able to present your corporate business registration documents. That's your CAC. Nigeria, we use CAC, right? Your CAC documents. Travel agents should have registered office and all required facilities and equipment in Abuja. So you have to prove office location in Abuja. Valid IATA accreditation. IATA is an accreditation that travel agencies need to be able to run bulk transactions, right? So you have to be IATA certified. So how do you prove your IATA certification? There's a certification document that must be shown. That means they will not spell it out to you. Attach your IATA certification. No, it's you that will then match each qualification, each requirement to say, for this requirement, what are we going to present to demonstrate that we have this? For this requirement, what do we have to demonstrate that we are capable of doing this? I hope you're getting the picture. So as we keep moving, maintains facilities of basic office equipment and telecommunications equipment with capacity to issue electronic tickets. So do you have the gadgets in place to be able to issue this? That's what they're asking. Minimum 5 years of experience in corporate specialization in travel management. They need somebody with experience. So can you demonstrate that you have up to 5 years of experience right? So how do you demonstrate that? Probably you show past work that you have done within those 5 years. Probably you show that you've had IATA since 2011. Do you get, or 2021, 2021, right? I don't know, right? Minimum 3 years, three ongoing or completed contracts for same or similar services executed within the last 5 years. So they want you to show that you have the contract, you've gotten contracts before now, and you've actively deployed service to other businesses. That means they want to know that you are experienced. Okay, now at this point, let's take a breather. Of course, this should begin to look a little familiar. As an individual, when you're packaging your CV, they're asking you for different things. But a job description will usually be between 1 to 3, 5 pages, if you notice. But because in this case, you're representing a business, they can then package their requirements however they see fit. But the same way you as an individual, you are trying to put your best foot forward to package your CV to show that you can qualify. That's the same way you are putting the business's best foot forward, packaging their proposal to show that they qualify. So don't overthink it. The same way you package your CV and you write 2 pages and submit is the same way that you are going to package their proposal. Write as many pages as possible to fulfill every last requirement and submit. So don't overcomplicate it. That's just it. In this case, you are representing a business. That's all. So you need to be able to read between the fine print. For each contract, provide details of client name, contract dates, contract values, contract focal point name, and email work location. So that means you are thinking, okay, there must be a section in my proposal where maybe I'll put it in a table. I'm going to put the name of the contract we have done. I'm going to provide the name of the client. I'm going to put the contract date. I'm going to put the contract value. I'm going to put the focal point name, like who is the contact person. That's what this focal point means. Contact person in your organization that they can call. I'm going to put email and our work location so that however they want to contact us, they can contact us. Maintain a good track record in serving international organizations. So it means that we should be able to show what international organizations we've been able to serve or work with. Embassies and medium to large multinational, that international organizations, embassies and medium to large multinational corporations. Maintain facilities of online booking, online, you get the picture now, right? So we don't waste too much time. So look at this capacity. They want you to show financial capacity. So they want you to present your audited financial statement. And you see why this kind of job is highly confidential. You can't be writing proposal for a business and everybody around you can see what, like, you have to be able to protect that information because it's proprietary information. It's not information that should, imagine you're working with audited financial statements for Dangote. Do you think it would be wise for that information to be available to anybody? No, right? Especially if you're working from the comfort of your own home remotely, there has to be maximum dispension of trust. Provide maximum credit amount for ticketing to Natal. So this means what's the maximum you can do? Because flight is not cheap. Imagine running flights for 200 people. We're talking billions. Do you get what I mean? Or hundreds of millions. It's not cheap. So do you have the capacity? In some cases, this business will want you to be the one to book it. Then they'll pay you back, right? The way most government parastatal works. They'll pay you back, say maybe there'll be a 30-day clause or a 15-day clause, but you will be the one using your money as a business. Then they'll keep paying you back. Of course, you would have put in every measurement of risk to your charge so that whatever happens, where you're getting your money back as a business. Well, that part is for the management to decide how they want to run that. Willing and able to guarantee the delivery of products and services in accordance with performance standards required. So you see, these are a list of requirements. Now, the next document I'm going to show you is the checklist for this particular project. Well, this is the checklist I created, or I'm coming because I like to use tables. This does not look like my style at all. I'm coming 1 minute. Let me open up. Let's go to my style proposal. Open file location. My style proposal build up. Let's see. Use input, supporting documents, approach and methodology, submission of waiver documents, NASAL checklist, NASAL checklist, more. Good, this is my style. This is the one we're going to be using today. Good. So this was the checklist for this particular bid document we just finished reading. So pay attention. The checklist will highlight every last requirement that should be provided by that business. If you notice, can you see? We have a long table that captures everything. Why? We want to make sure, because we know we are competing with other people as well. We want to make sure that while we're putting together our proposal, no information is missing. So from every last thing that's why you must have thoroughly read this. Is when you have thoroughly read it, you can then apportion a checklist. So this checklist means that I went to this document and read line by line. Everything that should be in our proposal, I have highlighted in simple terms, easy to follow. So let's look at it now. Requirements, admin versus admin/technical capacity requirements. They want us to demonstrate legal registration. So in the comments, I'm going to put, what am I going to deliver? Our CAC document. Travel agents should have registered office and all required facilities and equipment in Abuja. Proof of operational office, list of assets. I added list of assets. You notice I put this in yellow. Why? It means that I don't yet know what I want to present as our list of assets. So when I'm having a meeting with management, I'm going to let them know that, okay, in preparing this proposal, I have CAC documents. I have access to our proof of operational office. But what is our list of assets? So the business will then provide to me, okay, we have a list of assets. We did this in here, so. Add this document to the proposal. So when I have it, so normally this document now, because of I'm supposed to come to this status point and say CAC document provided, proof of operational office provided, list of assets pending from manager such and such and such, manager BP, you understand, or manager pending from COO. Maybe this list of assets is with the COO. I'm going to check. So I'm going to make sure, this is how I'm going to go one by one. Valid IATA accreditation. IATA certification is what I'm going to attach. Proof of Amadeus. So apart from IATA certification, there must have been a clause. So let's read this. Valid IATA accreditation and possess appropriate licenses and software required for processing travels, reservation, and ticket issuance. Amadeus is one of the softwares used for travel booking. So I will read between the lines as somebody who is a professional in that industry. I will not just stick to providing their IATA certification alone. I'm going to, because of this part where they said software, I'm going to add proof of access to Amadeus, which is a travel software. Do you understand? Anything to better position me to be able to get this contract, I'm going to put there. Let's keep going. Maintain facilities of basic office. Can you see it still follows the steps? What was the first thing we did? After finding opportunity, we saw NASAL was hiring. NASAL needed to hire a travel agency in this context. Now, they needed a travel agency. We gathered their requirements in form of a checklist. It is the checklist we're currently reviewing now. So one after the other, we have summarized what they need. Maintain facilities of basic office equipment, use except from ECOWAS. That's a previously written. This was one too, by the way. Apart from NASAL, this ECOWAS proposal was one. IFRC, the last time I asked before I left them, IFRC was also at least in negotiation stage. Okay. Minimum 5 years of experience in corporate specialization in travel management. So how do I demonstrate this? So for this, I'm going to show past job experiences. Minimum 3 ongoing or completed contracts for sales. So 2 contracts at least 1 million each for each contract or equivalent per year for flight sales turnover. So a breakdown of all of these works. That's what we'll gather. Look at this. Maintains a good track record in serving international. Look here, I wrote what? How do we prove this? What does this mean? I'm making a mental note of what is required, what I must provide to show that this requirement is fulfilled. That's what you do on your checklist. You keep going. Formal statement on credit limits. we're going to attach it. So we have to get a letter. Sorry, I did not mean to press that. Okay, personnel capacity requirements. Do they mean 3 travel consultants or ticketing officers? These are my questions most likely to management. Personnel capacity requirements. Hey, I don't send you translation service. No, thank you. Personnel capacity requirements. So, of course, I'm going to include CVs of 3 top staff, probably the ones that have IATA that have there's this individual IATA certification that people in travel tend to have. So I'm going to pick our staff, the members of staff that have those qualifications, to show that when you come to us, we have trained professionals that can handle these things, to the tune of the level of professionality that they would expect. So you can see duration of assignment, this is for an initial period of 1 year and may be renewed based on the performance of the consultant. So within these 12 months is when we are going to deliver our service. Now, it can be renewable. After the 12 months, we may renew eligibility and confirmation and application, this selection. So you'll see how they are selecting. Are they going to select on quality? Are they going to select on there's quality versus quantity? Maybe this depends on the type of project. But in this case, they want quality-based selection. That means they want to make sure that whoever is going to get it is not going to be somebody that will be telling them story. It's going to be somebody experienced, somebody who understands exactly how to get the job done. Questions can be sent here, submission, so this is where you get to gather every last requirement so that your proposal will be airtight. You're seeing this is the table of contents. So what did we gather? We had a cover letter, the RFQ form. So there was a point in the terms of reference where they required for us to fill a form. So I'm going to attach that form. Then admin/technical capacity. Now, all of this is you that organize it. So by the time you are done gathering the requirements, you're going to think, how should I organize this information? Okay, let me put all our statutory documents first. After our statutory documents, let's start writing our own methodology. Let's show them our operating procedure. It is you that will think of a way to organize it that follows the flow that is easy to read so that whoever is looking at your proposal is not confused. So this particular table of content is very important because in some cases you even put the page number. So evidence of registered of office will be on page so they can open to that page and see what you mean. Okay, with this firm, how we make it clear, how we make it easy to read. All of that pays into whether we are selected or not. Guess what? We were selected, we won this contract. So all that writing, and what's the tune of the contract? 5 billion. So all that writing makes it seem like you're writing or you are positioning for the business. Airfares and airlines, routing, itineraries, compliance with travel authorities. How do we do that? So it is according to your innovation, your own thinking, because nobody told us to put this in a table. Nobody told us to break it down like this. It was rigorous thinking, rigorous deliberation, back and forth with management that informed this body of work. Grants. This was work done for an NGO.